Ever notice how some people collect friends like trading cards, while you've had the same one or two people in your corner for years? And when someone asks about your social life, you genuinely can't think of more than two names that actually matter. Society treats this like a red flag, like you're somehow failing at being human. But neuroscience just proves something that might completely flip that narrative. Having one or two close friends isn't social failure. For certain brains, it's social optimization. And if you're someone whose entire inner circle fits in a text thread, what researchers discovered might finally validate what you've always known. Small friend groups aren't loneliness. For specific personality types, they're intentional architecture. And if you maintain deep bonds with just one or two people, your brain is prioritizing quality in ways most humans can't sustain. Let's unpack this. For decades, social psychology measured friendship success by quantity. The more friends, the better adjusted, the healthier, the more successful you were. Networking, social capital, broad connections, these became markers of psychological well-being and life achievement. But then researchers studying attachment styles and social satisfaction patterns found something the numbers-based model completely ignored. Starting around 2011, psychologists at Northwestern University examined long-term well-being in people with different social network sizes. They discovered a subset who reported higher life satisfaction, lower anxiety, and deeper sense of belonging despite having extremely small friend circles. Not in spite of having few friends, because they had few friends. They termed this selective social investment, and the outcomes challenged everything mainstream psychology assumed about human connection. Let's explore what's actually happening in your brain when you maintain just one or two close friendships. First, your prefrontal cortex has limited capacity for maintaining complex social relationships. British anthropologist Robin Dunbar famously proposed that humans can maintain roughly 150 stable relationships. But here's what most people miss. Within that number, there are layers. You might recognize 150 people, but you can only maintain deep, intimate bonds with approximately 5. For selective social investors, that number drops further, 1 or 2. And here's the critical part. It's not capacity limitation, it's capacity allocation. Your brain isn't failing to maintain more friendships. It's choosing to invest all available social processing resources into fewer, deeper connections. Think of it like computer processing power. Some people run 50 browser tabs simultaneously. Everything loads slowly, nothing gets full attention, but there's variety. You're running 2 tabs. Everything loads instantly, you can engage deeply, you miss nothing. Neither approach is wrong. They're just different operating systems. But here's where it gets fascinating. Your oxytocin response, the neurochemical responsible for bonding and trust, shows different activation patterns in selective social investors. When you interact with your close friend, your oxytocin levels spike significantly higher than average. But when you interact with acquaintances or larger groups, levels barely shift. Your brain literally saves its bonding chemistry for relationships that meet specific depth criteria. You're not cold or antisocial. You're neurochemically selective. And we haven't even discussed the cognitive load factor yet. Maintaining friendships requires enormous mental resources. Remembering details, tracking emotional states, reciprocating communication, managing expectations, navigating conflicts, providing support. Your brain does all this in background processing. For people with 1 or 2 close friends, all that processing power focuses on those relationships. You remember everything. You notice subtle shifts. You provide targeted support. You create unbreakable bonds. For people with 20 friendships, that same processing power gets distributed. Each relationship gets 5% attention. Yours get 100%. Now, here's the question that makes people uncomfortable. Do you have 1 or 2 close friends by choice or by default? Because there's a critical difference between selective social investment and social anxiety disguised as preference. Let's be completely honest. Some people don't have small friend circles because they prefer depth. They have small circles because they fear rejection, struggle with social skills, avoid vulnerability, or haven't developed capacity for healthy connection. And they've reframed avoidance as intentionality. If your small friend circle includes isolation, loneliness, desire for more connection, but inability to create it, that's not selective investment. That's something worth addressing. Psychologist Dr. Marisa Franco, who studies friendship formation, makes this distinction clear. Chosen small circles come from abundance. You could make more friends. You simply prefer investing deeply in few. Forced small circles come from scarcity. You want more connection but can't achieve it. The question isn't how many close friends do you have? The question is, why do you have that number? If your answer includes words like intentional, fulfilling, sufficient, chosen, you're likely in healthy selective territory. If your answer includes words like difficult, anxious, safer, unable, that indicates something different requiring exploration. Not character defect, not social dysfunction, just patterns that therapy or coaching could help develop. But let's return to people who genuinely thrive with one or two close friends because they've discovered something profound about human connection. They've learned that friendship depth matters infinitely more than friendship breadth. Consider evolutionary psychology for a moment. For most of human history, we lived in small tribes, 20 to 50 people maximum. You didn't need 50 friends. You needed 2 or 3 unshakable allies who would share resources, protect you, raise children collaboratively. Those bonds determine survival. Your brain still carries that ancient wiring. It's optimized for small, essential, life or death level connections. Modern society demands you maintain hundreds of shallow connections. Your brain keeps insisting that makes no evolutionary sense. And here's something that'll challenge conventional wisdom. Research from the University of Virginia found that people with 1 or 2 extremely close friends report equal or higher levels of social support compared to people with 10 moderate friendships. Why? Because when crisis hits, you don't need 10 people sending thoughts and prayers. You need one person showing up at 3 in the morning with no questions asked. Depth beats breadth every single time when survival is on the line. There's actual terminology for this in psychological literature. Dyadic depth, the capacity to form intensely meaningful connections with 1 or 2 individuals rather than distributed connections with many. It's not social limitation. It's a sophisticated relational strategy that prioritizes irreplaceability over replaceability. Think about it practically. If you have 20 friends and one moves away, you still have 19. Minimal disruption. If you have 2 friends and one moves away, you've lost 50% of your social world. That's devastating. But here's the paradox. That vulnerability, that risk, that's what creates unbreakable bonds. You and your close friend both know you're irreplaceable to each other. That knowledge creates safety that distributed friendships never achieve. So, what does this mean for your actual life? If you're someone who genuinely has 1 or 2 close friends and feels complete, here's your permission statement. You're not socially stunted. You're not missing out. Your brain has made a sophisticated choice to prioritize depth, loyalty, and intimate knowledge over breadth, variety, and surface connection. And that's not just valid, it's valuable. The world needs people who understand that real friendship isn't about follower counts, who know that true connection requires complete presence, who recognize that being known fully by one person matters more than being known superficially by 50. In our culture of performative friendship and social media connection counts, the courage to say, "I only need 2 people," might be the most countercultural stance possible. But stay vigilant with yourself. Ensure you're choosing small circles, not hiding in them. Can you make new friends if circumstances require? Do your current friendships feel reciprocal and healthy? Are you investing in few people because it fulfills you or because more feels threatening? Because the healthiest relationship with small friend groups is one where it's an active choice, not a defensive pattern. Next time someone expresses concern about your small social circle or asks why you're not out meeting more people, you can explain prefrontal capacity allocation, oxytocin selectivity, dyadic depth theory, and the complete research showing that one or two close friends isn't social poverty. It's social sophistication. Or you can simply state, because I'd rather be known by 2 than recognized by 20. That typically ends the interrogation immediately. And frankly, that captures everything. If this video just validated a friendship style you've always defended, don't scroll yet. The next content explores why certain personality types form different attachment patterns and how social needs vary by neurology. They're not suggestions, they're direct answers to questions this video likely raised. I'll see you there.